So it's these different things, which is so weird, but it's conditioned where it's like, it's okay for a woman to demean a man and make him feel so low inside, because you know what? You can't see the scars of emotion. You can't see the emotional scars. Assalamu alaikum, peace, it's Coach Nyla.
Assalamu alaikum, peace, it's Coach Fatimah.
And we are co-wives and co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as co-author of the book, Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored.
Yeah.
But yes, in this video, we're gonna talk about privilege. Women's privilege.
Right.
Yes, privilege that women have. And there are times that we don't want to believe that we have this privilege, even in polygyny, because people will say, oh, the man gets all the benefits and all the stuff, and the woman gets nothing, and the women have to, make sure they settling or make sure that they working and fixing themselves so he could just go out and just live his best life while you're sitting at home moping and doping around and, stuff like that. Once again, that almost comes to the whole projections thing. And we did a video on projections. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out. But yeah, we have a lot of privilege as women, period.
It's so funny. I was watching this show the other day, and my co-wife and I shared it with her. I was watching this drama, and I was thinking about the man and the woman, the lead in the show, and how they were communicating with one another. Now, this show was shot in the Mediterranean. So I was looking at how they communicate in the show and how she kind of lets him, he's the man and she's the woman, and she only goes so far with him, he only goes so far with her. And I was like, you would never see this in American television. No. Because he must cater to her every need, and he can't be mad, and he can't do nothing. He wasn't slapping her around or nothing, but he was pretty mad. And she let him be, She let him have it. And she was like, no, just wait, just kind of hear me out, da, 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 da. He was like, what else can you say to me? And it was like really dramatic, but I was like, the programming that we get in the West versus in other parts of the world is incredible. And it is very damaging to the marriage. It's very damaging to the marriage. I'm just really blown away at how the difference, and nobody got offended. Nobody in this culture in the Mediterranean got offended by the programming. They love it. They don't go, well, he shouldn't have yelled at her. He should have controlled his anger. He's a person. Men react to, let me tell you something real quick. When men get mad and enraged, doors start coming off hinges and getting thrown across. It's different. It's different for them. So when we sit there and we try to make ourselves men, we don't have a use for it because we're already women and they're men. So why try to be each other? I don't need to have that kind of anger where, I'm ready to pull the door off or go through it or go through the door. I've seen that in some people in my family, the door coming off, and it's always one of the men in the family. And I'm like, the anger is different. Their build is different. Their passion is different. Their wants and needs and desires and responsibilities are so different. So I'm like, we have our own, we don't need to, I don't need to ride the coattails of no husband's responsibilities. I can help support, but I don't need to duplicate that as a woman, so this privilege of, I could go off on him and I could square up with him and others. Yeah, because he ain't decided to knock you out. I mean, it's just like, Careful.
Yes. Like I said this and I told him, and you know what? After, I snapped off on him, or after I, threatened to kill him, after I did, you be like, even when it's in jest or even when it's joking, it's like women can get away with saying violent stuff.
Yeah, because I tell Coach that they're gonna dump him on his head. He's like, I know, and rolls his eye, right? And Coach Nyla ain't gonna do nothing but laugh at me anyway. But can I pick him up and dump him on his head? Probably not. That's not. He would never get off the ground. But I'm just saying that it's so true.
Yeah, women can get away with that.
Yeah.
And like I said, yeah, men have privileges too, because I know there'll be people that go, but the men and the men and the men and the men. Yeah, that exactly. That's like duh. That's like duh. Of course, but we're talking about women privilege right now, because when it comes down to it, we start projecting that stuff and say, well, they get this and they get that and they get this, and forget and don't be grateful for the privilege that we have. The privilege that stuff that they can say, that they have to do, not even, things that they have to do or things that they would get chastised or get shunned for not doing. We don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about that. So there's certain things that you have both. We both have privilege. But right now we're talking about women's privilege. We talk about how you have, and just like what my co-wife said about the conditioning in the West, you'll see different shows like, Are We There Yet? My Wife and Kids, different things like that, where they have the men looking like the loof. They have the man where if he wants to do something for himself or he talks about someone, then the woman is just talking down on him, being so upset with him or saying like, no, I'm going to do this. And they could just say, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to work and da, 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 da. And he don't like it too bad. And the show, not My Wife and Kids, I'm sorry. In the show, Are We There Yet? The wife didn't take his last name, he took hers. So it's these different things, which is so weird, but it's conditioned, where it's like, it's okay for a woman to demean a man and make him feel so low inside, because you know what? You can't see the scars of emotion.
Girl, what's wrong with you?
Girl, polygamy. I'm hearing it everywhere. Polygamy this, polygamy that. Men want to be married to more than one wife. I'm sick of hearing it. Who want to be dealing with something like that anyway?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
What?
Well, I mean, if it's done right.
Who's doing polygamy right? Where can you even find how to do polygamy right anyway? What was that?
I heard that too.
What is this?
Wait a minute.
Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored?
The practical no-nonsense guide to practicing polygamy right?
You heard that right. And if you want to get your copy shipped to your door, make sure you go to letstalkpolygamy.com so you can learn how to practice polygyny properly.
You can't see the emotional scars. So that's why this privilege of that a man won't dare, a real man, a man won't dare talk about how he would knock some woman to the ground, or how he would, go dig a hole and bury her somewhere, or how he knows better, because people would know, like, you may need to watch out for him, because it's possible, it's physically possible that he can do those things to you. And physical abuse is real. However, there's physical abuse in where women are abusing men. And people will say, well, how is that if a woman is petite or a woman is smaller, or a man could be physically, even if he's a small man? I got, we have a little son that's about, he's 6 years old, that is very strong. He's trying to beat his older brothers in arm wrestling. So that's not even the point of, oh, well, he's small, so he won't be doing it. He with a big woman, and he probably won't be able to fling her around. She'll be flinging him around. That's not necessarily the case, because just because he's a man and a testosterone and everything like that, he still has that strength to be able to cause bodily harm, to anyone, including a woman. However, how bigger people can hurt and destroy, how smaller people can hurt and destroy bigger people is usually through emotional manipulation.
Yeah.
You know, especially even people who are strong emotionally, certain things that start breaking them down emotionally, breaking them down mentally, breaking them down. And then they can start, you know, with the physical. Then they can start throwing lamps and phones and different stuff at them and everything like that. So we have to be careful with allowing that privilege to have us overstep our boundaries. For us to say, you know what, well, like I did long years ago, men don't have feelings. So you serve your purpose. I'm gonna treat you however I'm gonna treat you because it wouldn't matter anyway. I had to learn from that. Yeah. That's not okay. Men have feelings. Men can be broken down emotionally and mentally by women, mainly by women, because a number of them have been done to them. I can't talk. And a lot of times it's from their mothers, their own mothers. Starts from there.
Yeah.
And then you wonder where the trust issues come from. You wonder, is it like, well, why he's not talking to me anymore? Because the little microaggressions that you were throwing at him over the years finally wore him down. Mm-hmm. So we have these different privileges that we still have to be aware of and be careful with. And the abuse stuff my co-wife and I are talking about, we had to bring that up in it because it's important and it's heavy and it happens, right? So, you know, yes, there's other ways that women have privilege and everything like that, but this serious topic about the privilege and what the privilege can do, if we are not careful with it, is very important because it can be very detrimental.
Yeah, totally. And then some women will go, I don't know what happened. Just because, let me tell you something, just because you don't remember it don't mean it didn't happen. And my grandpa used to tell me, and I really didn't know what he was talking about. And I had to, you know, really get married to find out. And he said, if a man ain't talking, he thinking like hell. He used to say that all the time because they don't express feeling the same way that we do. If they're talking, if they become emotional, it's gotten very real, but it doesn't mean that it's not real in their heart either, you know, and we can't erase the fact that we're so busy looking at the physical, we don't look at the mental, you know, muscles and they this and they tall and they strong and they loud and they woo and they la, all that stuff like that is worth minding and worth being mindful of and worth reminding yourself of when you get in those moments where it gets out of control. You need to just stop that and then say, we'll talk about this another time. We're not going to talk about this right now, you know, because if you're trying to communicate effectively and it's reached a point where the husband just completely shut down, you might have activated a little bit too much of that privilege we're talking about. Like you have the privilege to talk and talk and talk and drain him and drain him and drain him, and he doesn't get a word in edgewise. He might be very leery of the next time he wants to talk to you. There's privilege in, well, we talk more as women. Yeah, but you talk too much sometimes. You know, we know the stats, we get the math, but they want to be listened to as well. We have the privilege of them making them listen to us, but then when they want to talk, we don't want to listen to them and then wonder why they shut down. See, it's all in there woven together. So that's why we wanted to talk about this, because privilege is real for women. We know they won't hit us back to a certain degree. You hit verbally, you hit physically. I had a client of mine saying, hey, you know, you get all this work. And I'm like, wait a minute. At what point did that come into play? At what point? So then when he gets tired of getting work, then what? You gonna get his? You gonna snap? What? You know, you keep painting someone in a corner, you know, you might get kicked in your face. I'm just saying, be very careful. And we joke sometimes, but it's a very serious thing. So we don't want to act like it's not, but we got to make sure that we are very careful about who we pick to have war with. You know, when you live with somebody, you decide to create a war with them. And sometimes they're not aware that that's what you're doing. Part of being privileged is that manipulation that comes with it, you know, and activating the manipulative parts of you if you have that. See, if you around me, I want you to feel like you can be genuine, and I want to be genuine around someone else. But to manipulate someone else's actions. You got to look at yourself and see what kind of human being you're trying to become, or what you're doing in somebody's life. That's violent. That's violent, to manipulate a situation or try to manipulate your husband or your spouse into doing your bidding or what you want him to do. That's another way to activate. And that's we're talking about this negative privilege.
Exactly.
It's a privilege to be wives. It's a privilege to live in a certain area, eat certain food, have certain freedoms. So we love that, but we're talking about this, well, he gonna do it and I'm gonna punk him and I'm gonna make him. And well, you gotta think about when he decide not to be your punk no more, then what? And he got his own mind. He might not be using it the way you think he can, and he's just gathering information, about your character. Careful.
That's the thing. Certain things when they build up and build up and build up because you're not understanding your privilege. Not understanding your privilege. So if you guys made it this far, congratulations. Thanks for sticking with us and all that other great stuff. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You know someone that this may benefit, definitely share. Sharing is caring. And as I said, if you made it this far, put understand your privilege in the comments. Understand your privilege. Because once we understand our privilege and what it can do, the good and the bad, it will make us more self-aware, and we can utilize that knowledge as tools to be better. Okay? So yes, until next time, make sure you are growing intentionally,
loving fearlessly,
and connecting on a higher level every single day. Make sure you join us on our social media channels if you haven't already. And we will see you in the next one, inshallah, God willing. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.